UFC 222 kicks off tomorrow. I'm Ryan Thomas. This is the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, coming to you live on Grandstand Sports Network. Very excited to kick off the preview and prediction in the Frankie Edgar, episode. Brian Ortega is a stud. He's very good. One of the young guns in the UFC, a guy that I really like. But who stepped in for the main event in the event that Max Holloway fell out? Frankie Edgar took the Ortega fight, but that's the co-main event of this card. Chris Cyborg steps up as the main event, as the A side of the main event. And Sakaya, the bantamweight champion of Invicta Fighting Championship, is stepping in to fill that spot on the B side. So I'm very excited to see this fight because Sakaya has been a highly touted lady in her own right, but she's fighting the best female fighter of all time, in my opinion, in Cyborg. She's been the best all time for a long time, but she's finally getting her exposure in the UFC lights, under the UFC umbrella. So Cyborg versus Sakaya is a good fight. It's a good opportunity for Sakaya, a great opportunity for her. She could shock the world tomorrow. Cyborg getting another chance to defend her title, and then maybe, possibly, depending on how this ends, she could set herself up with a super fight with Amanda Nunes this time, in a few months, this year in the summer or something, or maybe in the fall. I am gonna go with Struve, but I think that's gonna be a tough fight. Sean O'Malley versus you know what? I'm gonna change my pick there. I'm gonna go Arlovsky. Sean O'Malley versus Andre Sukumthath. I'm gonna go with O'Malley. Frankie Edgar versus Brian Ortega. I'm gonna go with Edgar. And then Cyborg versus Yana Kunitsakaya, I'm going to go with Cyborg. And the reason why in all those fights, experience. I think experience is key in the sport of mixed martial arts. I just feel these fighters that I've picked are more experienced in their best asset areas than their opponent. Like the Mackenzie Dern-Ashley Yoder fight. Mackenzie Dern has been one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, especially for female fighting in quite a long time. Ashley Yoder is tough, but her attributes don't really match up. But you never know. This is the sport of mixed martial arts. Anything can happen, and I could point to a lot of things. Matt Serra versus GSP, Bisping versus Rockhold, Holm versus Rousey. There's a lot of things that could happen. Even Tate versus Holm. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, for sure. Vitor Belfort almost beat John Jones. That's something that gets lost on a lot of mixed martial arts fans. He had that armbar locked in, and John Jones just toughed it out. And John Jones had a broken arm after that for a long time. So I think this is a decent card. Am I going to buy it? I probably won't. I think this might be one that I go out, with the buddies and get some food that's bad for me and kick back and watch it. But outside of that, I mean, I'm really looking forward to next month's card, the Ferguson Habib card. That's probably one that I would definitely want to possibly buy. I do like to go out for the UFC fights. I do like to have the people around me and stuff like that. The atmosphere is a lot better as a fan. But for the big events like UFC 217, I enjoy those events. Watching those ones at home. Conor McGregor pay-per-view, whether it's in the UFC or boxing, I'm definitely gonna buy that. Due to the fact that there are some draws in the UFC that just draw so much attention that if you were to go out for it, it's packed. People want to see these guys fight or gals fight. Rousey was one of those draws. McGregor is definitely one of those draws, and John Jones is one of those draws too. But obviously, John Jones has the hang-ups that he has right now. And I talked about that in the last part of the podcast. Definitely need to tune into that. So, all that being said, I want to say to Chris Cyborg that this is an amazing fighter. She is an amazing warrior. And her stepping in on short notice, taking this fight, yada, 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 it just adds another level to her legend. And I really appreciate it as a fight fan. She didn't have to take this fight. It's actually a dangerous fight for her due to the fact that she has everything to lose and the Yana Kunitsukaya has everything to gain. So in case of Frankie Edgar as well, both the main event and the co-main event, both fighters, all four fighters, taking this fight on short notice, whether it's Yana getting her title shot on short notice, Ortega getting the Edgar fight on short notice, and obviously Edgar willing to